If you're using your VA loan and you just got your offer accepted to purchase a house, watch this video because this is going to be the most informative couple of minutes that you're ever going to see. I'm going to explain the mortgage process step by step in 5 key critical steps, so this way you understand everything from what to expect next once you get your offer accepted. But before I go into that, my name is Justin Chermak. I'm a Marine Corps veteran and also a veteran mortgage advisor. It's my job to teach you everything you need to know about purchasing a property using your VA loan, and I'm licensed from New York to California to be able to help you out to actually do it for you. Make sure you subscribe to my page because I have a ton of useful resources and videos just like this one that are going to help you understand the entire process from start to finish. All right, so you just got your offer accepted to purchase a property. Congratulations. You're using a VA loan. That's awesome. This is great, but now comes the real work. You see, getting a pre-approval is a lot like going to MEPS, but going under contract is a lot like going to boot camp. It's gonna get rough and it's going to get super crazy. You're going to be super stressed out. It's gonna take a lot longer and be more chaotic and stressful than you probably expect. But if you make sure that you learn about the next steps of the process and what to expect, well, it's going to be a lot easier for you. So here's my guide, 5 key steps when going through the mortgage process. All right, so you got your offer accepted, you got your down payment, you sent it over. Well, maybe it's an earnest money deposit because we all know VA loans 0% down. All right, so down payment or earnest money deposit, you gave it over to the seller, you signed your contract on the dotted line, you got your inspection, you're good to go. Great. Now, what happens next? Now, here's some good key tips before I explain the first step of the process. Once that starts, make sure you save a copy of your down payment check or your earnest money deposit, whatever it is. You need to take a front and back copy of it, a picture of it. And if you had a termite inspection done or a well water inspection done, you need to save a copy of that inspection report because you're going to have to send it over to the lender. That, and also make sure that you save a copy of the receipt because the lender needs to see who paid for these inspections as well. Now that's kind of a preliminary. Let's go into the actual first step of what the mortgage process entails. So the first step is called disclosures. Now this is when the lender discloses to you all of the information that you're going to need about the mortgage. So they're going to send you over a big old packet of 70 to 90 documents. You're going to have to sign a whole bunch of them, and it's going to have every single thing in there under the sun, all ridiculous documents that are kind of redundant. A lot of them are really not so useful, but some of them are actually kind of important. But basically, lenders have to cover their six with everything, so we send out just anything and everything. You know, documents that say you understand that your social security number is going to be looked into, that you're not committing fraud, that you don't do anti-money laundering, that you agree to a credit pull, all these kinds of crazy things. Now, disclosures are really key. They will be an estimate of your closing costs and an estimate of your monthly payment, and they can change. Now, in most cases, lenders won't lock you in right away, so the interest rate you see on there is probably not the interest rate you're going to end up with, unless, of course, it's checked off in a loan estimate that it says rate locked yes in that box. So the most important document in that whole package is your loan estimate. You can take a look at that, and that will give you a breakdown or an estimate on closing costs and what to expect with your purchase. Now, really, all the other documents aren't really that important. Just sign them all, send them back. Hopefully your lender isn't making you print them all out by hand and sign them like we would 20 years ago, and hopefully you can just electronically sign them all. Now, once you send back your disclosures, the lender is going to move it into the opening milestone. That's when the file is actually opened. Now, see, in opening, we're going to start up your verifications of employment. We're going to do your tax return verifications where we order your returns from, we call them tax TRVs, tax return verifications from the IRS. We're going to order your appraisal. We're going to order your title. We're basically going to go over and make sure that all of those documents are signed. And we're probably also going to make sure that you pay for your appraisal too. We'll either send you over an appraisal link or we'll send you over a form for you to print out and fill out with your credit card info. This way, the appraisal management company can be paid and start up your appraisal report. Now, once all those preliminary steps are done, we're going to move in the next phase, which is step 3, and that's the processing milestone. Now, this phase is super crucial. The processor is going to review the file, and they're going to basically prepare the file for submission to the underwriter. Now, I always use this analogy. An underwriter is kind of like a judge, and you can think of me as like your attorney. Now, it's my job to present your case or your loan file to the judge, aka our underwriter, and it's their job to decide whether they're going to approve it or deny it. So the processor is the one who assists us with that. The processor is going to sift through all of this documentation, make sure that your title was ordered, make sure your appraisal was ordered, make sure all your disclosures were signed, make sure all your minimum documents are there, your W-2s, your pay stubs, your bank statements, all that. And they're going to be the one to scrub the file and say, yes, okay, we can send this over to the underwriter now because we have enough information in order for them to render a decision. Now, once we get that decision, that's when we enter step 4, and that is just called underwriting. Now, once we actually get an approval from an underwriter, that means we have a mortgage commitment. Now, at this point, we should have a little bit of progress on both your appraisal and your title. So in some cases, we might have the appraisal back or we might have the title back. So we might be able to give you a commitment or an approval with those things in there as well. You see, 3 things go on simultaneously when you buy a house. There's title, appraisal, and mortgage process. Now, the only process that you or I have any control over is the mortgage process, because title work is handled by a title company. And it's their job to basically go out and search through all of the records. They're looking at, municipal records, town records. Basically, think about how you as an individual have a medical record, a background record, a credit record, a driving record. Well, a house has similar records for all of their things, and a title company's job is to grab all of those records and make sure that they update them for the fact that you're now going to be the owner of this house. They're also going to make sure that there's no legal issues there. Now, title work can take a while. It can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks to get it done, but because the mortgage process takes a little while, it's being done at the same time. And at the same time as that's going on, we also have your appraisal work being done. Now, as I mentioned before, in step 2, we do your appraisal order and your title order. That's when we start it. Now that we're in step 4 of the underwriting phase, we should be getting pretty close to wrapping it up. So once we get your appraisal back, your title back, and we clear out title, and we have the mortgage underwriting decision, now we just need you to gather up all the conditions that the underwriter asks for. You see, an underwriter will ask for conditions once they approve a mortgage. They might ask for current pay stubs. They might ask for a letter of explanation for a large deposit a month ago if you deposited, $4,000 from cash or mattress money or something like that. They might ask for you to get homeowners insurance. This would be a good time to do that. But once you finish all the requirements within that list that we send out as lenders, that's when we can move on to step 5. And what's step 5? Step 5 is the closing table. You made it, AKA graduation day. Now, as we get near to the closing table, we're going to give you out something called a closing disclosure. That's going to come out 3 days before you get to the closing table. And that's going to have the most accurate estimates for all of your closing costs, what your mortgage payment is going to be. It's going to have your rate lock in there, what your interest rate is going to be. So that's the best insight that you can use as a buyer to know what to expect when you go to the closing table. How much am I going to have to pay to get in the home? And how much am I going to have to pay to stay in the home? Well, there you have it. That's our mortgage process explained in 5 easy steps, from disclosures to opening to processing to underwriting, all the way to clear to close. Now, if you found this video informative, please make sure you subscribe to my page, like, comment, let me know that you guys are out there listening. Make sure that you let me know that you value all the time that I put into the production work of making sure that I get you all the information you need when you're buying a house. And as always, remember, I am a veteran myself and a loan officer, so I can help you when you're looking to buy a house. So if you're thinking about buying a house in the next 12 months, definitely reach out. My contact info is in my description. You can reach out anytime, Monday through Sunday, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go, Motivator, out.